What is the value of the expression 8 squared minus 16 divided by 8 multiplied by 2? Which option do you think is the correct answer to this question? This expression is so tricky that many people end up with the wrong answer. Let's dive in and break it down step by step together. To solve this question, many people start by calculating 8 squared first, and instead of the original expression, they rewrite it as 64 minus 16 divided by 8 multiplied by 2. And the next step, they usually perform the subtraction between 64 and 16 and simplify this expression to 48 divided by 8 multiplied by 2. Then, they proceed by doing the division between 48 and 8, which gives them 6 multiplied by 2. And finally, they multiply 6 by 2, which ends up with the answer 12. Then, without any hesitation, they quickly say that option B is the correct answer to this question. However, that's definitely wrong. Also, some other people when solving this question first go for the expression 8 squared and they simplify to 64 minus 16 divided by 8 multiplied by 2. And the next step, they usually go for the multiplication between 8 and 2 because they think multiplication has priority over division. So, they rewrite this expression as 64 minus 16 divided by 16. Next, they perform the division between 16 and 16 since they believe division has priority over subtraction. And they rewrite this expression as 64 minus 1, which ultimately gives them the answer 63. And immediately, they conclude that option D is the correct answer to this question. However, it's not the correct answer to this question. Alright, now let me explain step by step how to solve this expression properly. To solve this question, we must follow a rule that is called PDMAS. We have to follow the order of operations I told you, step by step from top to bottom. Okay, as you can see in the image, in this expression, first we have an exponent, then a subtraction sign, followed by a division, and finally a multiplication. We should start with the exponent, because in this expression, exponent has a higher priority than the other operation. So, this expression simplified to 64 minus 16 divided by 8 multiplied by 2. And the next step, we need to handle the division and multiplication, since multiplication and division have higher priority than subtraction. However, it's really important to understand that multiplication and division have exactly the same level of priority. In this situation, the best thing to do is to start from the rest of the expression and move toward the right, performing division and multiplication in order. So, first we perform the division between 16 and 8, and this expression simplified to 64 minus 2 multiplied by 2. In the final step, we do the multiplication between 2 and 2, which gives us 64 minus 4. And finally, the value of this expression is equal to 60. That's great. Option C is the correct answer to this question.